Hello and welcome back. Today we are on day 4, so we are going through Genesis 7 and 8, so happy January 4th, and just going through it. We're going to get into the story of the flood covering the earth. Yesterday we were just going through how, this great act of faith and obedience and just being like, okay, God, I guess so, not even I guess so, but just doing it, like being about it with literally just building a boat, a yacht with, 4 people essentially. But now we're going to get into Genesis 7. Don't mind the blanket. I'm cold, so have to have a little wrap today. Alrighty. I wanted to cover more of my my head, but gotta, experiencing technical difficulties, but that's okay. Alright. Genesis 7. The flood covers the earth. When everything was ready, the Lord said to Noah, "Go into the boat with all your family, for among all the people of the earth, I can see that you alone are righteous. Take with you 7 pairs, male and female of each animal I have approved for eating and for sacrifice, and take 1 pair of each of the others. Also take 7 pairs of every kind of bird. There must be a male and female in each pair to ensure that all life will survive on earth after the flood. 7 days from now, I will make the rains pour down on the earth, and it will rain for 40 days and 40 nights, until I have wiped from the earth all the living things I have created." So that's also really cool too, because when we were going through, I believe Genesis 6, it was talking about how, God did not tell Noah how long they were going to be on the water for. So this is just happening now. He didn't know how long the time period of waiting was going to be until after he'd already done what God told him. So I think that's something interesting to note. And then also the provision for food. So God told him to also bring enough food for the journey. He didn't know how long the journey was going to be. So whatever he did, God also said take 7 kinds of every animal that he's approved for eating and for sacrifice, so that there would inherently be more of those animals to help sustain them. So God really thought of everything, and that's really nice of God. You can see even in an event where he's inherently angry, God is still trying to take care of the people that he loves. So again, in obedience, Noah did everything as the Lord commanded him. Now Noah was 600 years old when the flood covered the earth. I'm a 20-something-year-old person. This man built a yacht at 600 years old. I get people was built different back then, but oh my. He went on board the boat to escape the flood. He and his wife and his sons and their wives. With them were all the various kinds of animals, those approved for eating and sacrifice, and those that were not, along with all the birds and the small animals that scurry along the ground. They entered the boat in pairs, male and female, just as God had commanded Noah. After 7 days, the waters of the flood came and covered the earth. When Noah was 600 years old, on the 17th day of the 2nd month, I wonder if this is in months like our months or not. I don't think so, because the calendar, if I'm correct, I don't think the Gregorian calendar was until way later. That's beside the point. When Noah was 600 years old, on the 17th day of the 2nd month, all the underground waters erupted from the earth, and rain fell in mighty torrents from the sky. The rain continued to fall for 40 days and 40 nights. That very day, Noah had gone into the boat with his wife and his sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, and their wives. With them in the boat were pairs of every kind of animal, domestic and wild, large and small, along with birds of every kind. 2 by 2 they came into the boat, representing every living thing that breathes. A male and female of each kind entered, just as God had commanded Noah. Then the Lord closed the door behind them. also think that's kind too, because this is a big boat. And Noah and his sons didn't even have to close the door. God closed it for them. That's sweet. For 40 days, the flood waters grew deeper, covering the ground and lifting the boat high above the earth. As the waters rose higher and higher above the ground, the boat floated safely on the surface. Finally, the water covered even the highest mountains on earth, rising more than 22 feet above the highest peaks. All the living things on earth died. Birds, domestic animals, wild animals, small animals that scurry along the ground, and all the people. Everything that breathed and lived on dry land died. God wiped out every living thing on earth. People, livestock, small animals that scurry along the ground, the birds of the sky, all were destroyed. The only people who survived were Noah and those with him in the boat. And the flood waters covered the earth for 150 days. So not only is it supposed to rain, it rained for 40 days and 40 nights, per Genesis 7 verse 4. And then at the end, it says, and the flood waters covered the earth for 150 days. So 190 days, that's almost like, that's like 2/3 of a year, give or take, with just like quick math. That's a long time. That's almost 200, well, not quite a third, not 2/3, but you get the point. 190 days out of 365, that's a really long time. Whew. On to Genesis 8.